I spit hot fire.
I'm God, bitch!
Look up in the sky, is that a goon or green goblin? None of the above, it's a motherfucking dragon. Super Saiyan 2 to a cell, no problem. You put me in a cell, then you got
Bow down, nigga. I'm God, nigga.
Hold up, first of all, let me get some water real quick. My throat gets parched. Let me just. But no, like when I say, like there's different things. Like when we talk about being creative, like when I say something like, you know, it's truly yours, Troy Mason. Like, yeah, that's subjective, right? It's just, it's a catchphrase. It's something that's not really supposed to make a whole lot of sense. I mean, it's my own thing, right? But what I'm talking about with you is shit that objectively makes no sense. Let me put this down. Hold on. Right? Something that if you look as an outside observer, it doesn't pan out. It doesn't make sense, right? So I don't know. Let me give you an example. First of all, let me give you an example that I think most people can kind of relate to, right? When we talk about Walt Disney, right? You know, I don't know if you know this, but I actually worked for Disney. I know a lot of people, they're like, you know, I don't like to say who I worked for. I don't like to, but fuck it. Like I was one of them cast members that like, you know, that like pretended to be happy and was always like, oh, you know, doing that stuff, right? But and it was, you know, no, yeah, it was cool. You know, I got to go to the parks and shit for free. You know, I mean, at the same time, like I was in Disney, like so I was in the world, like I was in like the big dick of Disney. So it was like, dude, like, oh God, dude, I don't want to. It was cool. It was cool, right? A lot of benefit. I'll tell you. We'll talk about that later. But I want to get. I'm trying to get to the point here, right? When you so when you get this deep into something, right, you really notice these things. And so you know, when you go there, it's one of those things where, you know, these people that work there and like work for the company, like they really buy into this thing, man. Which is cool. Like I'm not hating on it. Like I understand it. It's fun, right? So, but you know, when they talk about Walt, they talk about him like he's a god, bro. Like they talk about you know, and I know it's Disney, right? But he's magical. They got statues of this dude, and they got, you know, they have a movie theater that exclusively plays one movie about his life, right? I mean, that's how big this thing gets, bro. Like seriously, like it's no joke, man. And like have a museum of just him and his life, and I mean things are wholesale. Like this was his notebook that he, you know, like this was his original drawing. I'm just like, God damn, you know. But so what am I talking about? Like it is, like I'm here to tell you that like Walt Disney wasn't shit, right? So now, I know, like, your inner hater's flaring up right now, and you're like, oh, well, wait a minute, man, I think you're just saying that because, you know, you haven't built up a fucking $50 billion company that, you know, this and that, and I think you're jealous and you got envy. No, not at all, right? It's just from somebody who's studied the process, or somebody who, you know, I'm doing my own creative thing. Like, I understand what that is. Right? And I can say it ain't shit. No, I'm not taking any accomplishments away or anything like that. I mean, at the same time, I mean, you say what you want about your inner hater. I was actually in this thing, you know. So, but why do I say it ain't shit, right? Because it's not magical. Right? I mean, I hate to, like, if you got kids, I mean, first of all, I cuss, right? But if you have kids, right, you might want to take them away. But, like, this whole Disney, like, it's not magical. You know, like, he wasn't sent from God with a pencil that had pixie dust on it. He said, like, no, like, it's simple, right? Here was his process. I have a picture of a mouse in my head. I have the ability to draw. I am going to draw a picture of a mouse on this paper. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, are you following me so far? No, like, okay, I need you to kind of respond a little bit. Like, do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so when we talk about his process, right? So this is what his process got to. I have a picture of a mouse in my head. I have the ability to draw, and I have the utensils to draw. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw the picture of the mouse in my head. I'm gonna put it on the paper. Then what the man said is I'm gonna take another sheet of paper and I'm going to draw the same mouse. Is it still making sense, right? I'm gonna draw the same mouse, but I'm gonna draw it a little bit differently. Okay, all right, okay, I can fuck with that. Okay, all right, I'm here. You hear? You still hearing me? Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another piece of paper, and I'm gonna draw the same mouse again, only a little bit different, right? So first time the mouse's hand is like this. Second time the mouse's hand is like this. Third time the mouse's hand is like this. You know, and then I'm gonna draw this. I'm gonna take and then follow me here. I'm gonna take another sheet of paper. And I'm gonna draw the same mouse. He's gonna be a little bit differently. So you're like, okay, now it's kind of like I'm following you because you know you have a picture of a mouse. You want to keep drawing, but why? Okay, so right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep doing that 20, 30, 40, 100 times, right? How many times it takes, right? And when I don't know if you can see it, but even if you can, I'll do it for me, right? So he says, I'm gonna take all these pictures of this mouse and I'm gonna stack them all together, and when I flip them, it looks like the mouse is doing shit. You know, he's waving, like, look, here's the mouse waving, all right, here's the mouse walking, here's the mouse kissing another mouse, like here's the mouse and his dog, and the dog is his friend, and then the other dog is his actual dog, and it's some confusing shit, but it don't matter, like, look at the mouse doing shit. And he's like, God damn, that's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool. So you know what I'm gonna do? I mean, because I like it, maybe other people like it. So what did he do? He started showing other people. In one form or another, right? You know, started showing people, and he found a way to do that. Turns out, a lot of people like to see the mouse do mouse shit, right? And then not only that, but he's like, yo, I'm getting paid for this. I found a way to get paid for this, right? So then what he did is he took his brother. He said, okay, everybody knows about Walt, nobody knows about his brother. You know, come on in. Like, let's make this shit happen, man. It just makes sense. Let's build a business, right? You handle all the book smart shit. I'll handle the creative shit, and we'll just tag team this world. Like, fuck it. And I said, all right, you know, it makes sense. At the same time, like, you know, Walt Disney's like, okay, I need somebody I can trust. You know, somebody who's good with numbers. At the same time, you're my brother. I mean, I certainly know you. You know, I trust you, and you're very good with numbers. Makes sense. Makes sense. Right? What in that process doesn't make sense to you? It all makes sense. Same time we look at Disneyland, right? And at the same time, when you were like, they will tell you, they will pound this shit into your head. Everything about it, like they will, you will know the entire history. Right, but Disneyland, like, so it starts out, you know, the man and his kid, like they're at a park, you know, him and his daughter, they're at a theme park. Yes, there were amusement parks before Disneyland. Now they weren't theme parks, but they were amusement parks. You know, the rides and the, you know, all that other shit, right? So he's sitting there at this amusement park. And he's seeing cigarette butts all over the ground. He's seeing trash all over the place, man. The people operating the rides are like, yeah, you know, they're just come on through, da-da-da-da-da, just doing like, you know, just not being very friendly. And he's like, you know what? I want to create a place where my daughter can go to and other people's daughters can go to that's clean, it's safe, people are friendly, it's nice. Like and because, you know, I got the resources and I know how to get the funding because of the shit that I was doing with flipping the mouse, I can make that happen. So, you know, long story short, Disneyland was made. Now tell me, what in that process doesn't make sense? Where in that process does magic come in? Nothing. It just made sense. He just kept doing what made sense, and then finally he's like, okay, well, this is Disneyland. Next step up, I mean, let's make it Disney World. You know, like let's keep doing this. I mean, even then, even when we talk about the characters, right? I mean, you can sit here and say, well, he was a racist, and he did, bro, I don't fucking know, nor do I care, right? I mean, dude's dead. I mean, not like I can have a talk with him anyway, right? But even then, he says, when we look at the type of things that he liked to draw, and look at his movie, Snow White. So, you know, he kind of said, well, you know what? I want to create characters that, you know, reflect to my daughter that, you know, she's beautiful. Obviously, you know, a little white girl or whatever. Same thing. Same little white girls, they still love all the, you know, the Disney shit. Well, it is what it is, right? So he's like, I want to create characters that my daughter can look up to. Now, obviously, we look back now and we're like, oh, well, those, you know, they were basic and they always waited for a man to come and save them. And, you know, look, it was a different time, right? I mean, at the same time, 50 years from now, they're going to look back on the chicks now and they're going to be like, damn, them bitches were crazy. That's another story for a different time. I'm about to go on find another bloody trail. I don't want to do that, right? So he says, all right, well, let me look back. Okay, well, there's this thing called Snow White. Well, I'm not going to put that in there. That's going to be a little bit too much for my daughter to handle. All right, so here's the story, and I'm going to draw it. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it do what it do. And he made it. And he's like, all right, well, what's the next step? Well, you made the movie. Now we got to show it. So we showed the movie. Turns out everybody loved it. So now, and then he got like 6 Grammys or some shit. They made up a Grammy, you know, or Emmy, whatever the shit they give to movie people, right? You know, he got one of those, he got like 7 or something of those, and he's like, well, you know what? Well, goddamn, I'm gonna keep doing this. I mean, it just makes, no, tell me where in there, you know, tell me a step in there that didn't make any sense, man. At the same time, I'm not gonna give you the history of everything, I'm not gonna give you the whole kit and caboodle, but, I mean, you understand. At the same time, like, when he was doing things that didn't make sense, that's when he was just Walter. He was just Walter. Right? He was just that dude working at a newspaper shop or a newspaper thing and getting chewed out by his boss and getting fired and shit because his boss said he doesn't have any creative ideas. Right? I mean, think about that. So what was his process before it was simplified? Right? His process was, all right, I have an idea of a mouse in my head. But first what I'm going to do, I'm going to go hang out with my family, and then I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to take a break at work, and then I'm going to go back to work, and then I'm going to take a lunch, and then I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to draw, and then I'm going to go get my paycheck, and then I'm going to go cash my paycheck, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to hang out some more, and then I'm going to draw this mouse. Now where in that does that, I mean, if the end goal is the mouse, tell me, where in there can we cut some things out? Like, what doesn't make sense? Right? I mean, if he had to take 2 processes, the first process that I talked about, I have the idea of a mouse, put it on a pad, boom. Or the other one where it's like, well, I got to do this, and then I got to go to work, and then I got to, like, what makes sense? The first one, of course. Like, that's what I'm trying to get you to. I'm trying to get you to the place where you start doing things that just make fucking sense, man. At the same time, I'm gonna give you one more example, like real G nigga shit here. So you like basketball, right? Because I mean, we're both. We're athletes. Like, we get this shit, right? I'm just trying to get you to a place where it makes sense. So I know you don't play basketball. I know that, but like, you like basketball, so we'll fuck with that, okay? So imagine we have a kid who wants to play basketball. So you talk to the kid. What do you want to do? I want to play basketball. So okay, so what are you doing right now? I'm going to practice. What do you practice? I'm practicing basketball. Okay, makes sense. All right, cool. Next day you talk to the kid, he goes and he's walking on the, he's walking to school. What are you doing? Well, I'm walking to school. Why are you going to school for? I thought you said you want to play basketball. Well, exactly. Well, the team that I want to play for is at the school, so I got to go to school in order to play the basketball. So you're like, okay, all right, that makes sense. I mean, you want to play basketball, but you got to go to school first, but you really, okay, all right, I get it, makes sense, okay. So then you talk to the kid a little bit later on. She said, what are you doing? Like, well, I'm in the library right now. Why are you in the library? I thought you said you wanted to play basketball. She said, okay, well, see, what happens is if I do good, like if I do good in school and I get grades, then I'm able to continue to play basketball. Oh, okay, all right, cool. So then you talk to him again, well, what are you doing? Why, I mean, your homework is done. Why are you still studying? He says, okay, well, here's the thing. If I do really good in school, then after I'm done here in high school, whatever, like after I'm done here, I have the opportunity to go to college and play basketball, right? So the better my grades are, and the better my abilities are, like the more colleges that that would be open for me to go to and play basketball. So if I want to play here, if I want to play here, or here, or here, or here, it just opens up more options for me to go play basketball. The place I want to. Oh, okay, all right. So you want to play basketball? So you go to school, you do your homework, you do your grades, you go. Okay, that makes sense. So it's all right, all right. You talk to him again. You say, "What are you doing now?" Kid says, "Well, you know, I'm kind of tired right now. So what are you doing?" "Well, I'm watching TV." "Well, you're watching TV? Why are you watching TV? I thought you said you want to play basketball." I said, "Oh yeah, well, I'm actually watching the game on right now. The game I'm watching. I'm watching the Clippers play the Lakers right now." You're like, "Oh, why are you doing that?" "Well, I'm watching. At the same time, I want to be a pro. Like I want to watch the pros do what they do. At the same time, maybe I can emulate something. Maybe I can. Oh, okay, all right." Well, shit, man, that makes sense. At the same time, I mean, this is your, you might be playing with him one day. So, I mean, shit, it's almost like a scouting report. Makes sense. You talk to him again, like, "What are you doing?" "Now you're on the computer. What are you doing?" "I'm watching YouTube." "Well, what are you doing?" "I'm watching old Jordan clips, man. I'm watching him doing what he does." "Oh, because you want to play basketball. You want to see how the best do it so you can." All right, makes sense. Now, where in that process that shit doesn't make sense? Where? It all makes sense, right? But here's what most people do, and here's kind of what you're doing, and I want to get you to like not do this shit. So we take kid number 2, right? So kid number 2, ask him, "What do you want to do?" "I want to play basketball." "Okay, that makes sense. All right. So what are you doing right now?" "I'm going to practice." "All right, that makes sense. Going to practice. You want to practice, play basketball?" "Man, all right, that makes sense. What are you doing right now?" "I'm going to school." "All right, so you're going to school because you got to go to school. You got to, practice." "All right, that makes sense. All right, so what are you doing now?" "Oh, I'm hanging out." "Hanging out like with people from the team or like what? What's happening?" "Oh, well, me and him are on the same team, but everybody like they're all my friends. Like I've known them for like 6-7 years. Like we're all really good friends. Like so we hang out." "I mean, are they helping you with basketball?" "I mean, they cheer and they but yeah." "Okay, all right. I mean, are you even talking about basketball right now?" "No, we're talking about hip hop." "Rap." "Oh, okay. All right. You know what I mean? All right. Okay. Fine. Fuck it." So then you talk to the kid again. You're like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?" "Oh, man, I'm hanging out with my girl, bro." I said, "Hanging out with your girl? Like, what do you mean? Oh, like, is this like the one? Like, at the same time, like, I get it. There's other things going on. Fuck it. Like, but is this the one? Is she gonna help you get to that next level?" "Well, I mean, is she even your girlfriend?" "Well, kinda. I mean, we hang out. Or even she is my girlfriend." "Oh yeah, she's my girl." "Okay, all right. So what does she do for you? Because you told me you wanted to play basketball. That's what you told me. That's what you told me your life was gonna be about, right? So I mean, is she helping you? I mean, are you guys doing drills? I mean, like, bro, what balls are you bouncing? Like, you know what I'm saying?" So he said, "Well, I mean, she cool. Like, so what does she do for you?" "Well, I mean, we hang out and, I get a little something and, I mean, we good, we talk, she cool." So functionally, she doesn't do a whole, maybe she's good at makeup, or maybe she wants to play soccer, or maybe she wants to do something else but for what you want, and what you want, she doesn't help you out with any of that. At the same time, I mean, do you plan on marrying this girl? Well, I mean, we'll see how things go. Okay, so you hang out with friends. Okay, so I guess that's your process. All right. So you talk to the same young man again. You say, "Well, what are you doing now?" "Well, I mean, I'm at a party." Like, nigga, why are you at a party? Like, I thought you wanted to play basketball. Like, why are you here? Well, because, you can't be about basketball all the time, man. You got to have different, you got to expand yourself, man. You got to have a little bit of fun. But at the same time, you told me you want to play. I thought basketball was fun to you. Well, I mean, it is fun to me. But, I mean, have a little bit of fun. So, okay, so it's fun. So what are you doing now? "Well, I'm drinking." "Well, why are you drinking?" I mean, aren't you an athlete? Don't you want to, this and that? "Well, yeah, I do, this and that." I mean, what are you doing? Why are you smoking? Right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with weed. I mean, this and that. Matter of fact, it can help you. They'll give you the boy, helps you concentrate. You're still blowing ash into your lungs, though. I mean, see what I'm talking about? Like, you're still not, the fact that you got to feel like you got to talk some sense into that man means that his plan makes no sense. Right? You want to play basketball, but you're hanging out with friends, you're hanging out with your girlfriend, you're going to parties, you're doing all this other good stuff, and then you'll get around to playing some fucking basketball. Meanwhile, kid one says, "Oh, I want to play basketball, so I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna do my homework, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that." I mean, I might hang out a little bit, but I like to hang out with people from my team. You know, at the same time, I like, even then, if I'm in high school, I like to go to the college games, see what they're about, and I like, you know, like, shit that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. Right? At the same time, this is what most people do. Right? If they have a goal or they have some shit they want to do in life, right? And so this is most people's process. Well, what do you want to do? Well, you know, I really want to blow up, man. Fuck it, like you have an artist. Well, I want to be an artist, man. That's what I want to do. At the same time, like I said, I work for Disney. I talk to, I don't know, I don't want to say hundreds, but certainly dozens of artists and creatives and things like that. So what do you want to do, man? Well, I want to be an artist. Okay, so what are you doing now? What's your process? What's your process for putting your art out there? All right, well, I have an idea in my head, right? And then I go to work, because I mean, you gotta work, right? You gotta get paid. You gotta do these things, right? I mean, you gotta live. Okay, so all right, so you do that. You go, do you even like your job? I mean, it's cool. So you're like, look, for me, it's black or white, right? You either love it or you don't. Like, you don't want to spend, at the same time, like, you don't want to spend your life doing shit that's, it's cool. So, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna say you love it or you hate it. Do you love your job? No, well, then it's, okay, fuck it, then you hate it. Like, it's not worth your time, right? So you want to be an artist, so you go to a job that you hate. And then, okay, so what's your next process? Well, you know, my friends are here, we like to hang out, you know, this and that. We talk about, oh, okay, all right. So you friends talk, are they artists too? Some of them are, you know, but listen, what do you guys talk about? Well, we talk about everything. We go over everything. Like, oh, so do they know you like to do it? Yeah, they kind of know that I like. I mean, do they push you? Do they say, hey man, like, what do you? Well, you know, they kind of. Okay, so this whole thing that you're doing, that you do and everybody else seems to do, right? This is like it's either yes or no. So this to me that means no, right? Are they pushing you? Okay, you do. Well, I've had this conversation. You do one more time. Like, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking mouth. Like, don't do that. Right? I know I'm the only one talking right here. I'll let you talk in a minute, right? But I'm trying to prove a point here. So okay, so what's next? Well, you know, I hang out with my mate. You know, I don't know. You do what you want to do. Like, we're both straight, so I'll just say you hang out with your girlfriend, right? So hang out. Okay, so your girl, like, does she know you like to do art? She knows I like to do art. Is she an artist? Well, no, she's not really an artist. So no, she's not an artist, right? So okay, so you know, does she help you? I mean, does she at least, you know, get you supplies every now and again? Like, does she? I mean, fuck it. Like, what is she doing for you? She knows you want to do art. You don't. You know, how is she helping you out with that process? How is she being useful to you? Oh, well, you know, we've been together for a long time. We've been together for about, you know, 2-3 years and going on, and you know, it's cool. We've been dating and this and that. Or even then, fuck it. Like, even then. You know, fuck it. You could be single, right? So what are you doing? Well, you know, I'm just, you know, mingling right now. I'm kind of at the club, or I'm on fucking Tinder. Right? I'm fucking, you know, I'm doing this bullshit. And so you ask yourself, like, okay, so you're and so then what's your next step? Well, you know, after that, then I go home and then I eat. And then, you know, I probably hang out a little bit more. I play. What are you doing right now? You know, I'm playing video games. Why are you playing video games? Well, you know, because I mean, at the same time, like I hung out with, I had to work, you know, I was with my friends, I spent time, so that this is how I'm spending my me time. I'm you know, I just want to play a little bit of, let's just play a little bit of Xbox. Oh, okay. So what happened to art? I said you wanted to do art. That doesn't make sense to me. Oh, well, you know, at the same time, like, and then people do this shit all the time. Well, I don't feel like it. So your process is, so you have a picture, you have an image, you have an idea in your head. And your process for getting that out is to go to a job that you hate, get around people that, you know, get around friends that don't support you, family that doesn't understand you, mates, a girlfriend, you know, a girlfriend that doesn't really believe in you. Right? She ain't pushing you, right? I mean, doesn't really believe in you. And then when you have your free time, you watch entertainment and you entertain yourself. And then when you feel like it, right? So that's part of your process. So when you feel like it, that's when you start writing. That's when you start doing art. Do you see how you can kind of slim some down? Like, people are like, oh my God, you're an asshole. Like, dude, I'm not an asshole. I just want simplicity. Right? I just want to be able to look at something and see what it is. At the same time, when I look at an artist's life, there's some things that I'm supposed to see. when I look at somebody that says, I want to do art, like, and I say, well, what are you doing right now? I'm just drawing right now. Well, at the same time, what are you thinking about? Well, I'm thinking about this character in mind. I'm thinking about this new piece of work. When I get home, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. All I'm asking you to do is make sense. I mean, that's it. Just like honestly, like that's it. At the same time, like people have this whole thing about feelings. Well, I need to feel like, especially creators, right? I need to feel like, dude, I wrote the fucking Modus, man. Like I wrote my own fucking superhero Bible. Right? First of all, it's a thing that even now, it kind of sounds, now down the line, 10, 20 years from now, when this thing blows up and everybody's like, oh yeah, everybody, like, yeah, but being that only motherfucker, like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. You know? So, you know, at the same time, like, dude, like I tell you, I worked so many shit jobs in my life. Like, you know, like I tell you, like, the last job I got fired from was from, you know, sweep, like, I got fired because I didn't, like, mop a floor a couple times. It was, like, a floor that nobody even walked on. Like, it didn't even, like I say, make sense, right? I asked my boss, like, well, it doesn't even make sense for you to, like, I actually had this right? I actually had this conversation. I was at a point in my life where I had to have that conversation to keep that stupid job. And matter of fact, I don't know if I should, but like, yo, like, I don't know if you could hear that, but this is, like, I wear the key from my last job, like, around my neck. So I said, look, from now on, I'm gonna start doing shit that makes sense. Like, at the same time, like, I have ideas, I have thoughts in my head, I have ideas that can change the world. I have a system that I feel can help develop. So at the same time, you know what? I'm going to do me. I'm gonna do shit that makes fucking sense. Honestly, like, you have this creative idea, you have this work. Why haven't you put it out into the world? Oh, you know, because I gotta go to this job and I gotta hang out with these fucking friends and I gotta be with this girl I really don't want to be with, and you know, then I got, you know, Thanksgiving's coming up, or you know, the holidays, so you know, I'm getting ready for the holidays, and I got, like, no, like, I just fuck all that, fuck all the bullshit. This is what I want to do. I just made sure that my life was at a place where it made sense. And that's what I'm here to do for you now, right? I want you to find whatever the key it is, and you start, like, bro, like, you just start grinding on that shit. I mean, you call me an asshole and everything all you want to, like I say, I'm a stickler for people making sense. At the same time, like, you know, one more thing, like so now I'm in my flow, right? Let me talk about making sense. God, I lost it. But I mean, for right now, you get it, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good. All right. So now we can go on to the next thing. Like, I don't want to hear you say that basic ass shit again. Like, I can't. I'm sorry.
The dick was good. But it's the only problem, though. She said the dick was so good that as she started rocking, she just got into it, and all of a sudden, she said something just hit her, bam, all upside his head, just slapped him. Dick will make you slap somebody. So y'all need to remember that. That's what I'm trying to deal with. The fact.
More like concept hated, cause you know I do not take shit. Maybe I may give shit. Give this misfit. Like a small condom on this dick. Words are like bullets and my bullets go ballistic. Beat hit hard, Ray Lewis, hold a hit stick.